Hello everybody, I'm Flamsy, and today we're going to be talking about how Donkey Kong Bonanza affects the DK timeline. So as you might know, Donkey Kong Bonanza kind of messes with the DK timeline a bit. Before Donkey Kong Bonanza, we understood that the DK timeline went like this. Donkey Kong 1981, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong Country, and so on and so forth. This is because in the Donkey Kong Country games, Cranky Kong references the fact that he used to be called Donkey Kong before the new Donkey Kong took on the name. In fact, the new Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, still references this, which doesn't make much sense if Pauline is a child in that game. Now, people have theorized many things about this. Is Pauline not the same character in Donkey Kong 1981 as she is in Donkey Kong Bonanza? Is Mario not the same character as Mario from Donkey Kong? Well, there is a very simple explanation for this. That doesn't require us to divide characters up based on their appearances in a 40-year-old game. Cranky Kong says a lot of things that we can't just take at face value. In the original DKC, he states that he was whisking off maidens 7 days a week, which that's not how the game works. You only save Pauline once in it, and he's not taking multiple women. So this must mean that he likes to exaggerate the truth a lot. I believe that Nintendo likes to call back to the older games and refer to them as if they take place in the past, even though they definitely take place in the future. Yes, I am saying that Donkey Kong 1981 takes place after Donkey Kong Bonanza. Now you might be saying, whoa. It's called New Donk City for a reason. Donkey Kong 1981 has to take place before Donkey Kong Bonanza. However, I believe that Donkey Kong Bonanza takes place before Donkey Kong 1981, and it makes perfect sense. You see, when we go to Donkey Kong, when we go to New Donk City in Donkey Kong Bonanza, the entire city is filled with imagery of the Donkey Kong Country games, not imagery of Donkey Kong for the 1981 arcade. The only things that we see reference Donkey Kong is 2 billboards that reference the opening of Donkey Kong Country, and another billboard that talks about a musical called The Lady and the Kong. Now, this is obviously just a cheeky reference and does not have any implications for the lore. And the rest of the evidence is really circumstantial. Pauline brings up her grandmother. There's dresses called Lady's Dress and the Arcade Dress, but these don't mean that the older games took place before Donkey Kong Bonanza. All this means is that Nintendo is referencing Donkey Kong from 1981. So why is it called New Donk City? Because the Donkey Kong family is extremely popular and they built the city around them. Now you might be saying, this conflicts with something that a citizen says in Super Mario Odyssey. Well, when you talk to the citizen, he says that this festival that is themed around 1981's Donkey Kong is about the city's beginnings. However, this doesn't really mean that it is actually about the city's beginnings. You see, also in the festival, there is Pauline, who is singing a song clearly describing other things that didn't originate from the original Donkey Kong, such as 1-ups or wacky worlds. So obviously, not everything in this festival is about the city's beginnings. Just the general idea of Donkey Kong is a part of the city's beginnings, not the events of Donkey Kong 1981. So, with all that said, this is my belief of what the DKC timeline looks like now. So we start off with Donkey Kong Country, then we have Donkey Kong Land, then we have Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3, Donkey Kong Land 3, Donkey Kong 64, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and then finally we have Donkey Kong Bonanza. Then after that, we move over to the arcade games, which are Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., and then we move over to the original Super Mario Bros. And the rest of the Super Mario Bros. Series. And then finally, we return back to Donkey Kong 1994. Donkey Kong 1994 for the Game Boy. You may be wondering, why is this at the end? Well, simply because it states multiple times in the manual and in Nintendo Power that this is a sequel to the original Donkey Kong, after Mario gained more powers after his journeys in the Mushroom Kingdom. And I mean, that's all there really is to go over. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!